Hello, everyone, and welcome to day 92 of my 100-day project. I am working with water-soluble graphite today. So these are by Lyra, and I love them. They come in different hardnesses, and the set I have has a 2B, a 6B, and a 9B. And I'm using the 2B for the majority of my piece today. And then I bring out the 9B at the very, very end just to add some extra darks. And I'm using a piece of that handmade watercolor paper that I used. I don't remember if it was wax pastel. I don't remember. But it is by New York Central, and it's got a lovely finish to it. It's a little bit textured, but because I was using the water-soluble graphite, my intention was to blend it with water, so I wasn't worried about the texture so much. But I did run into a little bit of a challenge. So this is why we do these things, because these are great experiments. So as I was doing this, I was counting on being able to erase. And already you're probably guessing where that approach probably didn't go so well for me. So I'll get to that in a little bit. But right now I'm using the 2B and I'm just doing some reference lines and just kind of getting some basic features and some shadows in, trying to get my proportions in there, lined up and parallel and all the things. So far, things aren't bad. I really don't like to do noses with the 3 circles like that always. And because I was counting on the ability to erase, I didn't worry about it so much. But usually I do the nose after I do the eyes, and so I can get the width, but I went backwards today, and that's fine. So I'm just kind of filling stuff in here, getting things going. And so far, I really like her. I like who has emerged. And I do really enjoy the water-soluble graphite. It's just so lovely to work with. And I kind of wish I had used the hot press watercolor paper. That was my intention. And then as I was pulling out the paper to work this evening, I was like, "Ooh, I've got this handmade paper. Let me try that." So lesson learned, but so far it's fine. And had I not planned to erase, it would have been lovely. And it really is a nice paper to work on. Just a little less forgiving than I think I needed and that I planned for. So I'm just kind of getting some features in here. Some of her hair, very simple design. And again, I'm thinking to myself, oh, I'm going to use an eraser and I'll get in there and add some lights. And problem or mistake number 1 is I still can't find my plastic eraser. So I ended up ordering some new ones, but they won't be here till tomorrow. So I've got that pink eraser that I know is not going to work really well. And then I dug into my drawing kit and I found another eraser that I thought was a kneaded eraser. And I thought, okay, well, that might be okay. But it wasn't a kneaded eraser. It was like some kind of plastic eraser. I don't even know the brand. And that turned out to be my demise. I have a kneaded eraser. I could have gone downstairs and gotten it, and I didn't because, I don't know, for some reason I thought this would have worked. And I was impatient. I'm tired. It's been not a busy day necessarily, but I've had a lot going on. So here I'm going in and I'm trying to do some erasing and trying to do some lifting. Well, experiment number 1, the graphite does not want to lift. So unlike watercolor, for example, where you can sometimes lift out some highlights, that was not working. So it was like, okay, that's good to know. and I'm still trying to get it. So I've got like that shape around her forehead. The edges are too harsh. I'm trying to soften those. Not really working. Trying to lift the center. Not really working. The little oval shape on her chin, the edges are really hard on that. And then here's this eraser. And immediately, so two things are going wrong. Number one, my paper's not dry. You guessed it. I went ahead and tried to erase while the paper was still a little bit wet. I did step away for a little while and try to give it time to dry, but I didn't give it enough time. So that was problem number one. Problem number two, as gently as I was trying to do this, I don't think this is the right eraser for this sort of paper, and I don't think this handmade paper really likes to be erased. I really needed to use a kneaded eraser, if any kind of eraser at all. So that was an issue. And on her nose, when I was trying to get some highlights there, it just tore up the paper. The fibers just came up. Because it's a handmade paper, the fibers are really like loose and very soft. So it was, yeah, not a good, it didn't go well. So a lot of the things that I was counting to do with her lips and those, her nose and her forehead and her chin, I could not do because I couldn't get the eraser in there to work. So I only have one option, and that is to go a little bit darker. Can't go lighter, so I can only go darker. So I try to get in there and add a little bit more, trying to bring in a little bit more shadow, create a little bit more value. If you want something to look lighter, if you can't go lighter, you make the thing next to it darker. And so that's kind of what I'm starting to do. And even adding a little bit of water over those places where I tried to erase is just bringing the fibers up on the paper. So her nose is a bit of a hot mess. But it's a good lesson, a good learning. There's a saying that either what you're doing is a good idea or a good story. And so today it's a good story. And again, it just comes down to me being impatient and lazy. I could have gone down and found my kneaded eraser that was downstairs, and that would have helped, and I could have waited for it to dry, but I didn't. And because it's that cotton paper, it takes a long time to dry. So here what I'm doing, I'm bringing out the 9B. The 9B is the softest, and so it is going to be the darkest. And I wanted her eyes, the pupils of her eyes, to be the darkest dark. So I went ahead and added a little bit in there. And that gave me some of the value that I was looking for, the darkness there. Trying to see if I can get those fibers to smooth down on her nose. Not working. So here she is, despite the challenges. I do really like her. I really love the water-soluble graphite. I love how easy it is to use and the blending you can get with water. So I really do enjoy it. And this paper, just not a good choice if you feel like you need to erase something. So lesson learned, as per usual. But there we go, day 92 in the books. 8 more days, and that's it. We will be finished. Ugh. So interesting. So many lessons learned. Thank you all for joining me. I hope you're doing well. Take care of you, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.